We're still here and the instructions are clear. In the last 1 hour or so, we have managed to speak to the persons who have been held inside the compound right behind me, Trevor, and they have told us the instructions are clear. No one gets in, no one gets out, nothing comes in, nothing gets out from that end until probably the end of the day, probably when the event at Uhuru Park is done with. That is what they have told us. That is the latest. But in the last few minutes or so, we've seen quite a lot of activity here. Engineers from different media houses that have their equipment house here have been coming in to try and talk to their engineers to understand what exactly happened, Trevor. And they have been frustrated because they have not been able to get in and talk to their personnel inside there. We've also a lot more from inside. We've seen quite a number of people, counting on one hand about 4 people and an armed policeman. Those are the people we have been able to see. You earlier that there is a security motor vehicle outside the gate. It's still parked. You can see it. It has 3 gentlemen and they look like policemen. One of them is armed. And the instruction is also clear to keep us off and as far as we can. But they've been very civil with us. They're not harassing anyone. They're not stopping us from taking pictures. But we had an incident earlier where one of the engineers from a television station came to speak to one of them inside there, and he had a bag of food. They were bringing food. And as soon as he handed over the food to the armed policeman, they told us the shooting is done, so we move away our cameras. That was the only incident that they told us to move away from the main gate. But the rest of the time, Trevor, they've been very civil. But we understand right now that every station that is domiciled here, that has the digital transmission on being broadcasted from here, their digital signal from here is not on air. You're talking about any signal on ADN, which consists of the biggest media houses here, the broadcasting houses of Nation Media Group, KTN. We also have Royal Media Services. They no longer broadcast from here. Then we have Pang, which has all of them across the board that are locally available. Then we have also Signet. All of them also have been switched off. So basically, you cannot view television if you are on any of those platforms, the digital platforms, the free-to-air television, Trevor. None currently can be broadcasted or can be beamed from this end. This is Limuru, the Royal Media Services Center, but it also houses part of KBC and a lot more other media houses that transmit from here, Trevor.
Thanks, Ken. That's Ken giving us an update from Limuru.